debate the mistreatment of the black man in America. It's a sore that was there.
Mm.
It's for him. He cannot erase it.
Right. Right.
Everybody knows about it.
Right. See, I'm gonna tell you, if I could speak on that real quickly, right? I studied the Metu Neter, and in the Metu Neter, it talks about the Metu Neter is the Osiris thing, right? Where Osiris had been killed by his younger brother Set, and deceived him to lay in the coffin in the sarcophagus, and then chopped it up into 14 pieces and spread it all over. His wife, Isis, and one of his sisters, they gathered his body back together, and there was an immaculate conception process where Isis turned herself into a bird, and she was able to take in his semen to produce Heru, which was an avatar who had came to work to restore the kingdom of Osar, right? Or Osiris, right? But he had to fight his uncle, his evil uncle, Set, which represented the white man. What Set had done is he had took the Osiris kingdom, which was based upon harmony and balance. He had took that and turned it upside down. No longer did you have with everything based on harmony and balance. It was based upon profit. He brought in the police system and so forth. To make a long story short and get to where I want to get, Heru had fought Set for thousands of years. Some battles he would win, some battles he would lose, right? But Set always remained in power. It took another god who could fly named Tahuti, or Thoth. The Greeks called him Thoth. He came and he told Heru, he said, look, man, you're fighting Set, and Set's creating illusions. He's deceiving you, and you're winning some and you're losing some. So by you winning some and losing some, you're having a stalemate. Set still stays in power. The only way you can defeat him is you got to bring him before the nations and prove that he's in violation of his own laws. But you got to use wisdom. Wisdom means that you're courageous because you're fighting him. Nobody else is willing to fight him. You're fighting him by yourself. But you said you got to have wisdom. Wisdom means that you have the ability to learn from your mistakes. So not only do you have to be courageous, you got to have the wisdom to learn from your mistakes, because the enemy has the ability to deceive. And that's the number one tool that he has used against us, is deception. To make us believe we are something that we are not. Even on down to our personal being, our names, our language. When we speak these things,
because we don't always even have to physically fight him, really. We can just live our lives. Like, well, I don't necessarily agree with everything King did, Martin Luther King. But he made the white man look ignorant.
He challenged
before the world.
And you're right, he did. He challenged him. He challenged his legal system.
And he did not even raise his fist.
And he got the Nobel Peace Prize. It was Martin Luther King's work, really, that put him on the world's. He's a Hebrew type dude because he challenged the white man and brought him before the nations of the world based upon his own laws. You claiming we citizens?
That's called, to me, then you get into that game of litigation type. A certain type of litigation. And I guess the lawyers of the world love that. But for me, see, America has always had two diametrically opposing type of ideas. You had Frederick Douglass and Martin Delany.
Right. That's right.
Martin Delany said, every day, I thank God for being a black man.
That's right. That's what he said.
And he said, Frederick Douglass, thank God for being a man. But yet, Martin Delany was downplayed.
That's right.
And Frederick Douglass was upplayed.
That's right.
Because the white man's going to go for the one which comes closest to what he can deal with.
Well, I read a book on that. Douglas's own background dealt with the fact that whether or not his master could have been his father, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he was, probably.
You know, more than likely was his father, you know.
Delany
traced his origins to African princes and
Well, a lot of people used to do that there in the city of African prince, but I wonder if there's that many princes and princes and queens.
He had wrote intense books about Ethiopia.
So many black people are always claiming they're from a prince or princess or royalty. In fact, I'm not so extremely proud of royalty in any group. They had, because I think we're all people, and we're all women squat, men stand up. I don't care who they are.
But that made Delaney proud.
Delaney was born in West Virginia.
Right.
And up in
Martinsburg. Was it Martinsburg?
Charlestown.
Okay.
And see, we often have those diametrically opposed people. We had later we have
Booker T. and Du Bois.
Washington, W.B. Du Bois, but don't leave out Marcus Garvey.
Right. Well, see, Garvey was coming over here to see Booker T. Washington and was having trouble getting across because he was a dark-complected black man.
And Du Bois, as I understand, did not treat Garvey with the type of respect Garvey thought he was due.
Right.
And he went in there because Du Bois was, I believe he was the only black with an office in the NAACP that time, but he was editing Crisis magazine or something like that.
Right. They used Du Bois against Booker T. Washington as well as Marcus Garvey, right? And here's the thing about it. You know, Du Bois died on Marcus Garvey's birthday over in Ghana. He had left. But you know what? He was shamed by the way that they had used him against Garvey. And you know what? Garvey
he made an enemy of Garvey by that way.
And Garvey come out and said it. He said that Du Bois was the worst enemy of black people. Yep. And he said he would come back. I read the Whirlwind Message. I'll never forget.
Well, what was Du Bois? He was a bourgeois.
He was a bourgeois. He went for.
He was a member of he was a boule.
Yeah, he was a boule, the talented 10th. He went for that.
He was a boule. And let's see. We don't get another good set of people. Like, although King was well known, Malcolm was effective too.
Malcolm was. That was another situation where it popped up again.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to them.
But as they started getting older toward the end of their lives, King started moving toward, because I think he was aware of the same thing happening again.
He was a smart man. Any smart man would have been aware of it.
And he started toward the end of his time, he started sounding a lot more like Malcolm.
He moved toward Malcolm's position,
and Malcolm
began to move toward his.
That's right. If they'd lived a little bit, you give them 10 more years. Because it happened 2 times before, the same scenario with Booker T. and Du Bois, and before that, Martin R. Delaney and Frederick Douglass.
And right now, we are struggling for a leader.
Some
would say Obama. I think Obama...
He represents Americanism.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And see, that's the issue. Whether or not we're going to adopt into an Americanism and accept peanuts and shit, or whether or not we're going to get it together and go say, look, we want our own reality. And until we get our own reality, we're going to have to keep arguing with you all over about mistreatment, improper housing, not educating our children properly. You're putting stuff in the water, killing us off, and we thought we didn't know, but we know. You know, we're going to continue to argue about that stuff. So it has to be a small but significant number of people say, look, it's time for us to create a reality of our own.
But you know what? We're still at the point of Garvey. I mean, not of Garvey, but of Delaney and Frederick Douglass.
Mm-hmm.
It is questionable that the black man or woman